Okay, next video for just an introduction to R and RStudio. This is the first time that you have launched RStudio, and now what are you looking at? So let's just kind of poke around a little bit. I actually have RStudio open here. This is what it will basically look like the first time you open it. You'll notice that it's always organized into 4 different panes. You might not see the top left pane the first time you open yours, and the bottom right pane won't be filled with files. So what we're going to do, I've assumed that you've already installed R. I assume that you've already installed RStudio, and you've opened it, because here we are. So I like to do a couple things when I first download a new version of RStudio. So I'm going to change the color scheme on mine, so I'm going to go to Tools, Global Options, and there's lots of different options you can poke through here. So I'm just going to do Appearance, and then poke around and figure out which appearance you like. For me, I actually like the Twilight. I like the black background because, a restart is required. Lovely. The black background is a little easier on the eyes if you spend a lot of time looking at RStudio. I'm actually not going to do the restart right now just to save the video. Okay, so it's going to give me that nice black appearance, kind of classic, a little more classic code hacker style. Preferences. I'm on a Mac, so some of my menus might look a little different to you. That's perfectly okay. The Windows menus are all still there too. Just poke around, you'll find the same menus. If I go over here to Preferences, I actually get to the same exact thing. So I'll do that again. If I go to RStudio and Preferences, I'll get to the same thing as if I do Tools and Global Options. Whatever, I can get to the same thing 2 different ways. Generally speaking, I leave all the defaults on in my preferences. In my code, I leave most of the defaults on here. Under Display, there is one, it may or may not be a default for yours, but I like to highlight our function calls so that when I type in a function that I'm going to use, it actually changes the color and reminds me that I'm about to use an R function. So I like to have that one turned on. I like to have line numbers turned on. The rest of it you can kind of fiddle with. And so I'm going to hit Apply and OK. And then lastly, the last thing I'm going to do in this very short video, I'll have future videos that go through all of the other panes and what all the stuff looks like here in the video. Last thing is, when you go to create and save files, you've got lots of different file types here. 9 times out of 10 you're going to be creating an R script. So when I do that, I get an R script here where I can type some code. Right, and I can run code and I can do all the various things I can do. I can do all sorts of things when I run code, but all of that's from a script. All right, I'm not going to save that one. The other things that you have options to do, generally we won't be using our notebooks. We will be using our Markdown pretty extensively, but this is for when you want to mix text and code together in some sort of nicer presentation. You're going to write a paper, you're going to write some presentation, something like that. The rest of these you can more or less ignore for right now. We might do things with Shiny apps, or you might occasionally want to do a text file, but basically our script and our Markdown. I'm going to leave the rest to some other videos, and go ahead and ignore and explore, poke around, and see what you can find.